Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 13th round. I think it's the 13th round of the X2 League. We're here in Saudi Arabia. It is a sprint weekend, which means extra racing. It is, of course, the X2 League, the second highest league in the Exa server. And there is quite a big fight for the championship as it stands right now. I have, in fact, lost the channel of where the standings are. And now I have them. So we have Reese in leading the championship right now, but only by 4 points. Of course, extra points up for grab today since it is a sprint format. And quali has just started. So Reese is going to be looking to stick himself on pole position to be able to continue that lead of 4 points. But Raven is close behind him as well in the Mercedes. But as it stands, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to do some mental maths. I'm not sure that Jeddah, who's in third in the drivers, is able to win it with just 2 rounds left, unless he gets pole in this race, first in the sprint, first in the race, and fastest lap, and then does the same next weekend as well, next week. So I think that's slightly unlikely. We have our first few drivers leaving the pits now. Of course, Jeddah is a very narrow and fast track, a street circuit in Saudi Arabia. So this is very technical for the drivers and relatively hard on the tires as well. I would like my game to stop doing the pause menu every time I tab out to check statistics and things for the stream. If I do windowed mode, is that going to mess everything up? Maybe. Have I broken everything? No, I think we're okay. It is also my first time commentating, so like, you know, we've got to start off strong. Is everyone heading out onto that outlap now? Let's set the details. We'll do best lap, telemetry enabled, lap data, telemetry, lap data, track map, full map. We've got everyone leading the pits. The first person who is going to be doing their first flying lap is probably going to be Alfie here. In the Alfa Romeo. That's fitting, isn't it? No, it still does that every time I tab out. That's unfortunate. Oh, actually, there's a Ferrari has passed him. Let's see. Looks like we've got the Ferrari here doing their first hot lap of the day. Let's see if they can keep it neat and tidy into turn 1. Absolutely lovely, using all of the track there. Heading around the middle of the first sector, you've got some quick left-righters here. It's very easy to botch yourself up onto that left curb and raise the car slightly as he edges the wall. Oh, that's a spin. Well, a spin, more of a drift, really. I thought it was going to turn into a spin. And that's definitely going to impact his lap time. This is a 32.3 in the first sector. But I think he's probably going to be abandoning this lap for now. Yes, he is. Who else have we got on? Anyone else on a flying lap? We've got Alfie here. Oh, that was okay. Well, I'm not sure why he sort of drove into the Ferrari. Maybe there was a connection issue there, but right into the back of the Ferrari and straight into the wall for Alfie on his first run in qualifying. So that's definitely not good for Alfie there. Going to be last in qualifying. Maybe he can make up some places in the sprint and make up some points as well. So we're on board with Reese here, our championship leader, I believe, on his flying lap as we join him just coming into the into the third sector even. Oh, goes maybe a tiny bit wide there. As JMS sets the fastest lap in the McLaren of a 1:26.7. It looks like Reese is, by what I can see, he's going faster, but we're about to see. On to the final straight now. He's got to absolutely open the gas to the finish line. He has a bit of a miss-shift there, and that might have cost him a bit of time, but I don't think it will have cost him the half a second that he was slower than JMS in the McLaren. So we have 3 laps down here in this short qualifying, and, well, that's not good. Has the session crashed? I'm going to check the Discord now. I'm hoping I can rejoin, because otherwise, well, I'm not spectating, really, am I? Oh. If I click alright, okay. I don't want to click join session and actually take someone's place here. How am I to join back? Let me just message in the Discord. I've been kicked. I'm in the lobby, but can't join the session without stealing someone's seat. Well, this is not exactly ideal. I would have liked to know how things were going, really. Maybe if I leave and get an invite from someone. See, if I click join session, I don't want to take the spot of someone who's also got logged out, because there's multiple of us who got kicked just there. Spectate, I'm spectating. If I leave and ask for another invite. Yes, failed to join session, I know. Well. Thank you, EA. Very cool. Yes, I know. EA servers, very small company, you know. We can't really expect much from the from EA. Well, how's everyone's day been? This is very unfortunate. Refreshing my requests, not seeing anything. Could really do with an invite. Of course it had to happen as well, by the way, for me, when it's my first commentating session. So that's really fun. Am I gonna get fired? Maybe it's a blessing. I wouldn't call it a blessing. Am I going to get fired? Am I going to pull a Paul de Rester and get fired from Sky Sports? Oh my god, I can do this. Oh, I got an invite. No messing around with the soundboard. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was an F1 radio. Please let me in. Please let me spectate. Did I click the right? I think I clicked the right button. I might have accidentally stolen someone's car. I severely hope not. Also, why did no one tell me that the game wasn't centered? Okay. I am going to fix the game not being centered. Oh, we're back. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. No technical difficulties here. We are a professional and amazing league. We are. Pretty great league. Anyway, now we're back. Let's have a recap. V10 Reese in the Aston Martin has taken provisional pole for now with a 1:26.4, 0.3 faster than JMS in the McLaren in P2 here. Of course, Alfie has DNF. It looks like we have another DNF as well from an AlphaTauri. Matthew May is out of the qualifying session. And it looks like, if I'm looking at this correctly, this Ferrari has just set the fastest Sector 2. Down in 11th. I'm just having a look. No, I don't. He has done a fastest Sector 1. Now is the time where he crosses into Sector 2. And it's a 27... No, it's not. Oh, my telemetry is confusing me. Let's get the other telemetry up. Let's get the lap data up. He's into Sector 3 now. DRS wide open. Let's ride on board. As he comes around the final corner, get as much exit speed as you can here and absolutely bottle it down to the finish line. And that is P2 so far for the Ferrari. Very strong performance there. Reese is still yet to be taken off of pole position. I say that, and the other Reese has gone and done it. The Alpine has reclaimed pole position by less than 1/100th of a second. Is that right? More than 1/100th of a second. That was a very tight margin indeed. As we have a couple more people on their out laps here. Is Casper here on a flying lap? Let's take a look. He's in 6th at the moment. He's got a 1:27.2. If he wants to snatch pole position, he's going to have to shave off just less than a second. Keeping it very close to the wall there. Absolutely lovely. Oh, gets a little bit of a dink of the wall on the right-hander. It's not going to impact his time too much. But it seems that he is essentially giving up on this lap here. Letting by the McLaren of JMS, hoping to reclaim pole position maybe here as he's dropped down to P3. It's very important with this as you just get as close to the wall as you can to maximize the entire track really with this track. And V10 Reese puts another pole position up. The two Reeses really fighting for this pole. He clears it by another 0.2 of a second. Clearly he has so much pace in him today. How much time left do we have in the session? Not too sure. Here we have the Ferrari of Kalki. Pretty sure that's how I say his name. On another hot lap. There's only 4 people out on track at the moment. Everyone's sort of chilling the pits, maybe happy with the lap times that they've set. So he comes into Sector 2. And that is a 32 flat when it comes to Sector 1, which is, as far as I can see, the fastest Sector 1. Oh, he has a little bit of a wiggle coming out onto the main straight, onto the back straight. That's going to cost him a little bit of time and exit speed. He's rounding into Sector 3 now. You've got a fast left-right-hander here. Oh, a little bit of a nudge of the wall again. Is he going to get a bit of a... He's going to move across to the left past the Aston Martin. Coming into the final corner here now. Oh, he goes maybe a smidge wide there. And he hits the wall again. Yeah, he's coming into the pits. Clearly not happy with that lap there. Oh, well, you know, there's always a stylish way to go into the pits. 5 minutes left on the session. Probably a bit less since I've seen that message. And Rowley here, EXA Rowley, I believe is one of the moderators of the league. On a hot lap here. Into the technical sector 1, you got lots of fast left right handers. If you mess one up, it's the rest of the corners completely messed up. Let's have a look on the telemetry as he comes round to the hairpin at the back. Bit of a short shift there as he's heading around the, what I like to call the back not straight, because it's like a straight, but it's not really that straight. He's coming up to the DRS detection zone, and he activates the DRS, trying to get as much speed as possible. Even though this is a straight that isn't straight, there's quite a few corners in it. You want to do as little turning as possible to keep as much straight line speed as possible. And now he's activating the third DRS of the lap. And coming into the final corner, braking just after the 100 meters. Get it nice and tidy. Power on the exit. Where is this going to put him? I put him up to only 6th. Only 6th. So we've got the 2 Reeses out in front here. As everyone is starting to leave the garage for presumably their final lap. I still cannot see how much time we have left. But Reese is hoping to keep hold of pole position. As the other Reese has retired from the session, I just saw that. So, for now, it's looking like the threat of pole position being taken from him has been minimized a bit more. I would like to remind myself and ourselves of the standings. For the drivers, it's the Reese Brooks, who has just retired in the Alpine, is leading the championship by 4 points. Raven, who I am just looking for right now, doesn't seem to be here unless his username is different to what it is on the standings, is in second. He's in the Mercedes. So let's have a look. Not too sure. Maybe there is a reserve right now on for Raven. But he is 4 points behind in the championship. And then Jeddah is in third in the Red Bull, who is currently 5th in qualification right now. So there's a 4-point gap between 1 and 2. And the question is that gap going to change by a significant amount? Are we going to see any changes in the top parts of the Drivers' Championship today? Obviously, a lot of points on hand since it is a sprint weekend as well, just to remind you. As let's ride on board with our current pole sitter, V10 Reese, as he starts his final flying lap with probably about less than 2 minutes in the session to go. As he rounds turn 1 and 2. Very important to get your exit speed here. Use all of the track. Very early downshift there. Of course, these guys are very fast. This is the second highest league in EXA. That's qualification over, so if anyone crosses the line now, they won't be able to put another lap in. But it looks like most people are on a flying lap as V10 resets the fastest Sector 1 of the session, a 31.6 in the first sector. As he's rounding onto the isn't straight. Who's he got in front of him? Is that looks like a McLaren. Hopefully that's not going to slow him down when he gets to the next few corners, which are pretty critical here. You want to get as much exit speed as possible. Absolutely lovely, neat and tidy. Puts on another fastest sector. Sector 2, 27.6 seconds. He is absolutely flying today. Coming into the last corner. I mean, he's already got pole. He's going to improve on the time. Again, it looks like it was actually a Red Bull he was stuck behind. It looked orange on my screen. Getting a tow from the Red Bull. Would you look at that? A 25-8. Absolutely demolishing anyone else's chances at getting pole position. As we have JMS rounding the final corner as well onto the main straight. Is he going to be able to improve? We'll never know. What a cooking lap. Absolutely a cooking lap. That was an absolute stomper of a lap. Okay, so qualification for the sprint. We have V10 Reese on pole position, followed by Reese, the other Reese, in the Alpine. Half a second behind. That is the that was the gap. That's quite a hefty gap. And then JMS follows them up in the McLaren to complete the top three. And then it's Ferrari, Red Bull, Alpine, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, and Haas that take up the top 10. Now let's advance. Any race directors? Any incidents? Of course, we had Alfie with the terminal damage, but I don't think we've got any grid penalties or anything like that. No one impeding, which is always good to see. Oi. I should have got me some water before doing this incredibly long commentary session. So the drivers are going to be preparing for a sprint race. How many laps is the sprint? Is anyone sure? It's probably something about like maybe 12 laps, 8 laps. That crash at the start was extremely unexpected. It was. You sort of just saw the Ferrari and thought, hello, have my wheels, and then hit the wall. So that's definitely not ideal for Alfie. Where is Alfie in the drivers? Alfie's currently sitting P11 in the drivers. He's got a 2-point gap ahead of him, and a 7-point gap behind him. So maybe that bad qualifying position is going to impact his standings pretty heavily. Just to remind you of the EXA points systems, it's 25 points for first position, 20 for second, 18 for third, 15 for fourth. Oh, we've got lights. We've got 4 lights, 5 lights. I'll continue with that later. It's lights out and away we go. And V10 Reese gets a pretty good start heading into turn 1. He defends off the other Reese, and everyone barrels into the first corner. No incidents here. It's looking very, very clean from everyone. As we see some position changes, everyone's scrambling to get to the next corners. Oh, someone's gone a bit wide. That's an Alpine going a bit wide. Keeps it nicely on the track, though. As everyone is trained behind each other. Who is going to make a next move into the hairpin? Let's have a look. We've got a caution. That is Alfie out again, it looks like. Another DNF from Alfie. First in the qualifying as the 2 Red Bulls slow each other down, and there's a Mercedes slow as well. Oh, there is quite a lot of carnage going on around the hairpin. 3 wide there almost. As we have a safety car. I didn't see that. I was wondering why everyone was driving so slowly. Your English is very good for a Frenchman. Thank you. That's because I learned them at the same time. So we have a safety car on the first lap of the race due to a crash incident with Alfie. Not sure what happened there, but that means no overtaking. Everyone has to adhere to a certain delta. Safety car on lap 1 of a 9-lap race. We're not going to see many changes. We're not going to see any pit stops unless anyone has any kind of wing damage. Rip Alfie indeed. He hasn't been having a good weekend so far in the sprint. He'll be lining up 17 out of 17th for the big race. 9 laps. 2 of 9 laps completed. And 1.5 of them underneath the safety car. As the safety car waits for our leading drivers, the 2 Reeses. That's a fun word to say. And the pack is pretty close together. We have 2 people pitting down at the bottom. Let's just have a quick look at that. The Williams and the Mercedes. Are we getting any... Doesn't look like we had any wing changes there. Not sure why they're pitting. What have they gone into? Let's have a look. They've gone into the softs, it looks like. The Mercedes and the Williams right at the bottom. Paul Diver and Remote Banjo. They're going to have to catch up to the rest of the pack. And I have a feeling that once they catch up to the rest of the pack, if it's before Sector 3, we'll have safety car in this lap for another few more laps of racing. Oh, Alfie says in chat, my controller is fully dead and it won't turn on anymore. Just died mid-corner. So that probably explains the double DNF here. For Alfie in the Alfa Romeo. Not looking too good in the drivers for you there. As our final two drivers just about catching the back of the pack. One lap younger fresh softs compared to some softs and some mediums. Not sure what big difference that's going to make in terms of raw pace advantage. Probably not a lot considering half a lap was only done in racing conditions. So let's see. It doesn't look like the safety car's coming in this lap. We're going to have another lap of the safety car. Unless... Does it tell you in the top left if it's in this lap? I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it's going to be another lap of safety car. It looks like. I'm sure the Exa stewards are not going to be too pleased with Alfie's double DNF, but it doesn't seem like it impacted any other drivers. We didn't see the two people who actually pitted get any wing changes or anything like that. So V10 Reese, who is... Let's have a look at the drivers, if we can spot him. I think V10 Reese is a reserve, it seems, for Aston Martin. Because both Aston Martins are 16th and 20th in the drivers at the moment. And neither of them are called a Reese. Stewards definitely won't be impressed. Well, understandably, technical issues, they do happen. So the fastest lap at the moment is a 1:42.4, but that was probably done under the safety car with half the lap of racing. So you know, we don't have much information to go off here on if anyone is going to be contending, challenging V10 Reese. Honestly, I think our Reese in the Alpine on the Xbox, he's going to be happy if he sticks P2 today, because that's going to continue his lead in the drivers. As from what I can gather, maybe someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think V10 Reese in the Aston Martin currently leading is a reserve. Well, we have done a third of this race under the safety car. And the safety car is in this lap. The safety car is in this lap. And we are going to be racing again very soon. V10 Reese is going to start slowing the pack down. We're going to see everyone weaving around, getting those tyres nice and warm to start going again. Safety car rounds the final corner and is going to rush itself into the pit lane as the pack is approaching the final corner. Let's have a look. They're going around the final corner. Alpine Reese wants to get a big jump on V10 Reese here. Of course, you get 1 point for pole position and 1 point for pole position in qualifying and 1 point for the fastest lap here. So it's green, we're racing, and V10 Reese has held off the pack very well so far into turn 1 and 2. Heading into the middle of Sector 1, the tricky part, if you mess up, you could go flying here, especially on that raised curb that we're about to see just there. But no one goes wide, no one goes straight into the wall. And the pack is starting to separate a bit here. Not by a lot. Everyone is still within half a second range of each other. As Reese, of course, sets the fastest Sector 1. Very expected, considering we haven't had one full racing lap yet. We're going to get DRS probably on lap 6, I think that'll be, which means very few laps of DRS in retrospect for this sprint. If we've got any action going on in the back, let's just have a quick look at some onboards. Oh, the Red Bull of Icy goes wide. And Jamie gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit violations. Icy has lost... Icy and the Red Bull has lost 2 positions. He's going down the inside of his teammate. Would you look at that? They're wheel to wheel there, but he doesn't manage to get past. Rowley managed to capitalize on that and absolutely gain 1 or 2 positions there. As the fastest lap of the race is set by our Alpine. It's Icky, not Icy. Thank you very much for correcting that one. Some say I'm dyslexic. Not diagnosed, but yeah. Icky is hoping to get back some of his positions here that he's just lost by going wide. And he went just on that raised curb that I'm sure we're all far too familiar with. Just getting the car raised up and not being able to turn it because the wheels are literally not touching the ground. Anyway, I think this is going to be our final lap of the race without DRS. And everyone is separated by less than a second, apart from EXA Rowley, who has quite a bit of ground to work up towards JMS in the McLaren. Otherwise, he is going to be heavy under pressure from the 2 Red Bulls who are going to have DRS on him. Our fastest lap was done by Reese in the Alpine in P2. He's hoping to hunt down V10 Reese, who is currently leading, has been leading all race, of course. He's got the gap down to just 0.3 seconds, a second and a half separating the top 4 here, as they're coming across the line to start the 6th out of 9 lap, and DRS is enabled. So down the back, not straight, they're going to be having those DRS wings wide open to give you an extra 15 kilometers an hour, and that was very close to the wall by everyone. Absolutely beautiful driving. It looks like Icky has lost even more positions now to the Haas. And I am messing up the spectator menu. We have 2 people pitting here. Another time penalty is going out to Matthew May here. We have 2 people with 3 seconds, both rather at the back of the pack. And 2 people leaving the pits, one of the Aston Martins, Jamie. And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That's an AlphaTauri who looks like they've just spun. Let's go find them. Was it Matthew May? It was Matthew May. Getting track limits, violations, and he's just cut it again. I'm not sure the stewards are going to be happy about that. Okay. He's boshed his front wing. Maybe he's having a bit of a problem here, but he's got no front wing. And he's got multiple time penalties. Stewart's not going to be happy. Running wide again. Definitely not the most exhilarating of racing there. So we have 3 drivers separated from the pack. Everyone else is in very close proximity to each other. And Reese has got that gap down to 1.1 seconds. And it looks like he almost went for a move on our race leader. As a steward, I am not happy. Well, there you go. That's confirmed. So most of Sector 1 and 2 is very technical, very high-speed corners. This is where V10 Reese is going to want to get the gap up from the other Reese in the Alpine. Just to try to get him out of the DRS range. Really going to have to push hard here. As they head round the hairpin. We have the AlphaTauri of Matthew May pitting, it looks like, if we can see on the minimap, for presumably a new front wing, and is now, well, he's in 15th, and the only person in front of him is 5 seconds ahead, and then it's a 30-second gap, so it's unlikely that he's going to be scoring many points today. As the gap is down to 0.2 seconds, and Reese is getting a run. on the other Reese as someone retires. The Haas in 13th has retired, and Reese gets ahead. Would you look at that? He gets ahead in the final corner. Oh, and that is the other Reese who has a spin. Oh no, he has a bit of a slide coming out of the last corner, and he has dropped back many positions. We're going to be, well, Alpine Reese is going to be very happy about that one. His main threat, I'd say, for this session. Oh, he has a slide as well. Oh, wow. The two big contenders for today have just had one big wobble and one less big wobble. But now Reese has got to defend from his teammate and the Ferrari in P2 and 3 for the next lap and a half. Icky Robo gets a 3-second time penalty for more track limits violations as he gets up another place. I'm just going to keep an eye on this Verstappen-Hamilton vibes. Honestly, I think it was just V10 Reese had a little bit of a slide. I wish there was like some sort of replay feature. I could just like clip it and replay it in live time with F123. That'd be really... It's icy. No, icky. Icy, icky. No, icky. I'm confused. Listen. My brain just doesn't work. But it would be cool if I could some replay thing so I could see what's happening if people are having slides or whose fault it is, whatever. As now Reese is having a bit of a DRS train of two cars gathered up behind him as they're rounding onto the main straight now. They're going to have DRS wide open again. He's going to hope that his teammate is going to put quite a lot of pressure on this Ferrari here just so he can stay ahead as he takes a defensive line into turn 1. And his teammate seems to have gone a bit wide, just from what it looked like on the side of the screen. Once again, holding them off. And we've got a slow car. Is that another? We've got some... Oh, we had a yellow flag in Sector 1 there. Looks like a... what was that? An Alpine? No, not an Alpine. A Williams, Mercedes, and an Aston Martin maybe having a bit of a tussle. They're heading round to the hairpin. The top 3 separated by 0.7 seconds. They have removed themselves from the rest of the pack by quite a bit, by a further 2.6 seconds. As the DRS detection zone comes up, Reese has still got them hot on their tail, but he has managed to make quite a big gap of 0.7 seconds. They're still going to be in DRS range, but it's not going to be enough for them to attack in the final 2 DRS zones, as it is, of course, the final lap as well. And final DRS zone, the Alpine is going to hoping to get past the Ferrari in the final corner, but he's way too far back. No, he's way too far back. He's rounding the final corner as Reese. He's done brilliantly. V10 Reese, unfortunately, made quite a big slide, and that is an Alpine 1-3 for the sprint. They're going to be very happy about that one. So V10 Reese lost 11 positions there, as everyone else is starting to cross the line. EXA Rowley in 10th, making up 4 positions, it looks like. Am I reading that correctly? No, I'm not. I don't think I am. But there we go. That concludes the sprint. Speaking of sprinting... once this race ends, I'm going to sprint and get a glass of water. My throat is rather dry. God, how do commentators, like real ones, do this? Crikey. Our final 2 drivers cross the line with, well, is that front? No front wing. There you go. No front wing, and even less of a front wing. And that concludes the race then. I am going to... You lost force feedback, says Reese. So you had a bit of a slide because you lost the force feedback. That is not fun at all. That really does suck, yeah. I am going to hit advance and run to get a glass of water. I have returned. So Reese is going to be very happy with those. I'm not sure how the sprint points work in the league, because of course they work a bit differently, but he's going to be very happy with the points gain that he's gotten in the sprint, and he's hoping to be converting this pole position for the race onto a win for the full race. So the big race is going to be starting very soon. How many laps is the full race? It's something like 25 laps, I think, since it's a 50% race. So we're waiting for everyone to ready up just now. Let's have a look in the Discord chat, see if anyone has made any remarks. I don't think we will, because the race is about to start, and it's lights out, and away we go. Reese gets a pretty good start. Now he's holding off the Ferrari, who tries going down the inside, but there's just not far ahead enough. Oh, Reese is getting squeezed into the wall almost, as the Ferrari and the Alpine are side by side going to turn 3 and 4. And we've lost sight of them, and now they're back. There's a big train now gathering up of everyone going around the technical first sector, heading into the second sector. That is a McLaren going wide. JMS losing many, many places. And he's down into last place. Oh, there's a crash. There's a crash with the Haas. I wish I could have seen what happened there, but there is a Haas backwards. Are we going to get a safety car, or is it just going to be yellow flag? I think it's safety car. Or at least virtual safety car, considering that the entire track is yellow. VSC, virtual safety car. I wish it would tell me. But we do have a virtual safety car on the first lap. Isn't this reminiscent of the sprint? There we go, virtual safety car. We're probably going to see that end probably towards the end of this lap, maybe midway through the next one. As the two Alpines are in front now. I didn't even see that overtake. It's green. We're racing again. As the two Alpines are going wheel to wheel down the main straight here. As Haas still gets in front of Reese going into turn 1 and 2. Reese is going to now have to defend from the Ferrari if they want to keep that. And yes, that is indeed the Haas retiring at the bottom of your screens. And Jamie has pitted, it seems, probably from that collision with the Haas. I'm going to presume that's what happened. And Haas still has taken the lead from his teammate, who ever so dearly would have wanted this win. To get a win in the sprint and the race would have been absolutely brilliant. And V10 Reese down in 12th, now down in 13th, is going to hopefully want to be, hopefully is going to be bringing himself up through the pack. As he got pole position for the sprint, but unfortunately lost forced feedback and ended up having a slide, bringing him all the way down the order. Haas still is making quite the gap between his teammates. His teammate is going to want to get that over a second to get out of DRS range. However, his teammate does set the fastest Sector 2. It is 0.3 faster in Sector 2. So maybe he's going to close that gap down. We'll take a look at the timings once they cross the line for Sector 3. As the Red Bull is making a move on the Ferrari here. Got the inside line on the final corner. Are they going to have a run and maybe a dive into turn 1? We will see. It's right on the gearbox of that Ferrari. Haas still sets the fastest lap. Oh, the Red Bull's going down on the inside. There's a bit of contact there. Oh, they had to concede there. That's going to be a lot of time lost between them and the two leaders of the Alpines. Oh, we're riding on board then with Jettahs. He's going to try to catch that Ferrari. Oh, he goes a little bit deep and he gets raised up on the curbs. He's gone very wide. He's going to now be defending from his teammate, who has, of course, better exit speed because he didn't go off the track. And he's going to be now attacking the other Red Bull. Further down the pack, let's have a look. We've got the two Williams riding nicely behind each other, behind the Mercedes. Well, they're in a bit of a Mercedes sandwich, it seems, here. So a little bit of a twitch from the Alfa Romeo there. Maybe they just tagged the wall in the background. As DRS has also enabled this lap, so we've got quite a DRS train going on from P5 all the way down to P13. Everyone has their DRS wide open. So we're probably not going to see too many position changes here until the train starts to decouple itself, we'll say. Although I say that, and we've got a battle between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes there on your screen. You can just see Rowley making up a place there against V10 Reese. Reese is not having such a strong race. You'd be thinking since he slapped it on pole by quite a margin that he would be trying to climb back up through the pack here in Jeddah, but is not having too much luck down in the depths of the midfield. Now let's have a look at our two race leaders. The two Alpines cruising ahead, 0.5 seconds between them. And, well, they've got a good second and a half between them and P3. So it's looking very comfortable for Alpine. I'm not sure where they are in terms of constructors. If someone in the chat would like to let me know how Alpine are doing in the constructors and how that's shaping up. But Reese has also retaken the lead since we missed that. And is comfortably ahead of his teammate. He's got a nice amount of ERS left. They're 11th in the constructors. Fair enough. Looks like Harstil is trying to push on for this position here. Let's ride on board here as they come through towards the final corner. We've got us JMS is slow. Oh no, sorry, that's the AlphaTauri of Matthew who's slow. Entering the third sector. They've both got quite a bit of overtake, we can see, built up. As it looks like he's going to make a move towards the inside. Harstil's taken the lead back again. He's breezed past his teammate there. Goes a tiny bit deep maybe into turn one, but holds on to the lead. Well, regains the lead, should we say. And we're going to hopefully see some very good action between these two Alpines for the rest of the race between them. And Matthew May retires from the session on the straight line finish. That's not going to be any form of safety car or virtual safety car, but we are just going to have a... There we go. He despawns. That's not going to be too much of a problem. Absolutely brilliant racing between the two Alpines here, who are in first and second. Although, if I was them, I would be a little bit conscious of maybe the Ferrari here just catching them. Although maybe the Ferrari has something more to worry about with the Red Bull of Jettahs inching in ever so slightly. Let's have a look. Yes, in the first sector of this lap, Jettahs was 1/10 faster and 3/10 faster in the second sector than our Ferrari in P3. He's got DRS now. Is he going to try make a run down into the final corner? No, he's just going to edge very much closer towards him. He's got DRS down the main straight as well. And we're seeing another position change from the leaders as Reese regains the lead on to the main straight. So a lot of overtaking and opportunities going on in these DRS zones. Put the telemetry on? Yeah, sure. We're riding on board now with Harstil. He's going to be wanting to regain this lead again from his teammate. Looks like Jettahs did manage to get past the Ferrari while we were just looking at the two Alpines battle out for first and second position. And Jettahs has cleared himself from the Ferrari. He's going to want to get in on the action with the French sandwich, shall we call it, the two Alpines. Hostil's enabling a little bit of overtake. He's maybe going to go for a move here. Quite a risky move down the back straight, but he's got DRS. He's trying to go side by side. He can't quite get it. He's very, very close to his teammate, though, as they head through the fast left-right-hander. DRS open in another 100 meters. There it is. You'll see the rear wing fly open. Going to give him a bit more extra speed coming towards the final corner. Is he going to have enough room? I don't think so. Maybe he's going to go for a overtake on the main straight like we've seen them do it many times before. 0.4 seconds, maybe a little bit wiggly on the exit of the final corner as well. There they go. He's not using any overtake. Is he confident enough with the DRS? He's going side by side. He takes the inside line. He outbrakes his teammate and takes the lead again. We're going to see that quite a lot, I think, into the first corner with the two Alpines. They sort of seem to be swapping round every lap. Oh, and Hostel gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That is really going to hurt him here. Of course, now Reese doesn't really have to worry about defending or attacking so much as Hostel goes wide again. Maybe, I think I saw a little bit of a lockup there from him, maybe. Of course. Oh, that's a big wiggle and a bit of contact between the two Alpines. That was very close. And that has, like I was saying before, put Jetters right on their back. Jetters is now going to be launching attack on the two Alpines. He's got not much ERS left, though. He hasn't been too conservative. Maybe he's been using all of that just to push as hard as he can to get the DRS. Just to maybe stay with them while he recharges and launches an attack. As we've got Jetters. Is he going to go for a move on Hostel? Is Hostel going to go for a move on Reese? We've got a brilliant battle here for P1 as they go side by side towards... Oh, that's not quite side by side. It looks like it. But Hostel still maintains the lead. A little bit wiggly out of the final corner. Reese has got the DRS. He's got the slipstream. He's going to breeze past his teammate. Once again, we're going to see him... Oh, and that looks like it's the Red Bull of Jetters trying to get in on the action. Hostel goes a tiny bit deep into turn one and turn two. Jetters never saves his ERS. He does it every race. Well, we can see that. He's got 10% of ERS. And, of course, a game mechanic in F1 23 is if you're below 10% ERS, the ERS is far less effective. So he's not going to be finding much use from that ERS. If I was him, I would be saving it here. But he's made his way past Hostel. I didn't even notice that. I was just looking at the Twitch chat. And we've got another slow... That's V10 Reese again spinning out. And that's a backwards Mercedes as well. That's interesting. Maybe there's a little bit of contact there between them that we didn't get to see. No plans for a safety car or VSC. And Reese and Remote Banjo have quite a lot of ground to work up. Was there a bit of contact there? I'm not sure. But Jetters has definitely got the pace to win this race. Starting from... where did he start, Jetters? I'm not too sure what position Jetters actually started from. But if anyone knows what position he started from, please do let me know. Hostel went on that awful curb. Ah, I see. Now Hostel's trying to get back P2 here on Jetset as they go too wide into the first corner, still side by side round into turn two. Who's got the advantage here? It looks like it's Jetters as Hostel almost gets pushed into the wall in this very narrow street circuit. Just pulls behind him back onto the racing line. This fight here between Jetters and Hostel is really letting Reese pull away with this lead. If I was Hostel, I don't know. He's got a 3-second time penalty. He needs to just clear the gap between everyone else. If we look at it now, Hostel is going to end up in, what's that, P5, including his time penalty, as is that another yellow flag. Not seeing any major issues there on the minimap. Hostel's going to try to launch another attack onto Jetters here. He doesn't have any DRS. He's fallen back from Reese. Hostel right on his tail now. Looking for a fast exit onto this corner as they head into the final section of the straight, of the not straight. He's passed him with ease before the final corner. Hostile is probably, Jeddah is probably going to have DRS to maybe launch a counter attack here. As there's a little bit twitchy, and we've got another virtual safety car. Is that the Alfa Romeo? Looks like it was the Alfa Romeo of Alfie in the wall again. Oh, and Hostile gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as he does pit. That's really not good for him. We've got a total of 8 seconds of penalty to serve. As yes, everyone is starting to pit now. Jetters is behind Hostile, but not too much to worry about considering he's got an 8-second penalty. Reese is staying out. Wonder if we're going to see him box at the end of this lap. We're just before halfway into this race, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a bunch of people boxing under this virtual safety car. Of course, with the virtual safety car, everyone's pace is slowed down, so you're going to lose less time to the people behind and in front of you when pitting compared to when we're green flag racing. So let's take a look at who has pitted and who hasn't. Position changes, let's take a look at those first. So there's quite a few position changes here, but if we just take a look at the stops, the top 4 have not pitted yet. And everyone else has, except for Alfie, running in 15th. So are we going to see our race leader pit? It's unlikely as we go green again and DRS is re-enabled. Reese is probably going to want to put a massive... Well, he's going to want to put a massive gap between him and Jetters, who is, I'd say, technically P2 right now. Mathematically. Are we going to see him come into the pits? Doesn't look like it, no. As we fly around onto lap 11. Reese is all alone now. 10-second gap between him. We've got the 2 McLarens chasing down Rowley here for P2. As White Josh is maybe going to go for a move down the inside. I don't think he quite has it here. He's got a lot of ERS saved up for him to launch an attack. But maybe his tires are not too good. I wish there was a stat we could look at the tire wear, but I don't think we can. Just to see how much pace he has got. If I look at the sector times here, as we're starting to round into the second sector, P2 and 3, 4. Right, Josh using just a little bit of ERS. Maybe got a sloppy exit. And White Josh is actually a 10th slower in the first sector than Rowley. But he is going to have DRS down in sector 2 and 3, of course, down the isn't straight. Hostile is running in P5. He has pitted, but he has an 8-second penalty. That 8-second penalty is going to bring him all the way down to P10 at the moment. Hostile loses another place to the Ferrari. When are we going to see this top 4 pit? When's it going to be? As White Josh actually gets past Rowley while we were looking at Hostile. But it looks like Rowley is launching another attack into the final corner. He gets ahead just about. But who has DRS for this main straight? It looks like it's White Josh. So we're going to ride on board now. As he launches an attack going down the left. Breezes past. He's just about ahead. Is the other McLaren going to launch an attack? No, he's too far back onto the Mercedes. A new fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.6 set by the Ferrari in P4. Who has pitted as well, so those are fresh tyres. And yes, Reese has pitted. He's down in P7. So mathematically right now he's in P2. If we take into... No, he's not. He's in P3. If we take into consideration his teammate Hostile has a penalty. P4's Ferrari and Jetters in the Red Bull in P6 have also pitted. And the top 3 haven't pitted yet. So that's going to make it look like he is in P3. He's lost a lot. He's lost out on a lot when it comes to not pitting under the virtual safety car. Because, of course, Hostile and Jetters, they did pit underneath the virtual safety car, which means they lost a lot less time to Reese down in P7 at the moment. All right, our battle for the lead is currently the Mercedes and the two McLarens as everyone has DRS. Going down this main straight, the two... Oh, is there going to be a double over? Oh, he squeezed into the wall there. Maybe there wasn't enough room for JMS. Just about to take the lead. No, he gets it. Rowley gets it back into the final corner. And he's pitting. That is that wing damage on the McLaren? I think so. He got past his teammate just before the final corner. And he saw a gap that Rowley sort of just slammed. But I don't think there really was ever enough room there for JMS to do the double overtake. So Reese was our race leader, now down in P5, 2 people in front of him who haven't stopped, and 1 person with an 8-second penalty. He's got past Jettah's, which is very important for him. That's going to put him into like a mathematical P2, I think. But Jettah's with quite a nice amount of VRS saved up here. Going to want to take that place back. We've got another... yellow flag. V10 Reese has left the session, retired. Wouldn't have surprised me. He's had a pretty rough sprint and a very rough race. Of course, he spun out in the sprint just before he put it on pole position by a good half a second. He would have been my favorite to win, but maybe some technical difficulties, maybe some skill difficulties. Not in a mean way, but you know. Anyhow, the chase for the lead is EXA Rowley and White Josh. They are, well, they haven't pitted yet. I think they're both going to be pitting here. Yes, they're both pitting, giving up the lead. And we're going to see Harstel try to take the lead back off now. He's got that 8-second penalty, but that is not going to stop him from taking track position for P1 here. And Reese... his teammate is going to be wanting to get on the back of that Ferrari. He also wants to get the pressure from Jettah's off his back, who is 0.5 seconds behind Reese. And Reese needs to get into DRS range, which he has done so far, but there is still quite a bit of the track to get to before we get to the second DRS zone. As we're looking further down the grid, Rowley has dropped down to 10th after that pit stop. Late pit stop, was that worth it? I think before all the pit stops, before the virtual safety car, he was around in 10th. So it doesn't look like he's missed out a bit too much, but he has missed his timings there with that tricky sector of the track at the end of Sector 1. Went a bit wide and got a pretty bad exit. Had to go wide over the curbs. Sure, he's going to get a track limits warning for that. Hasn't got a penalty for it, though. And White Josh is still ahead of him, 0.6. They did pit together, although he's quite a bit behind his teammate JMS, who's also done a stop. So everyone here has stops now. So let's take a look at another detail. Let's look at positions. Harstel up 2 positions, but does have that 8-second penalty. And I say that, and he has just dropped down as the Ferrari takes the lead of the race. With Reese down, it started first this race, but now is in 3rd. I would bring that down to not pitting underneath the virtual safety car. Pool Diver has made up quite a few positions here. Looks like he's made up 5 positions as another position gets taken from him by the Red Bull of Icky Robo. So we're seeing a small pack in the front of the top 4 here. Is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the top 4 are very much separated from the rest of the group, who are sort of spread out across the track, across the first sector. So Reese mathematically is in P2 here. Of course, his teammate has quite a hefty penalty of 8 seconds. Icky Robo with a 3-second penalty. So those are the 2 penalties at the moment during the race given by F123. For any other incidents that have happened, EXA FIA will be giving other penalties, of course, as I'm sure you're all aware. Let's take a look at our race leader then. I wish I knew how to say his name. I've been avoiding it all race. Cal Kick. I don't know. The Ferrari. We'll refer it to as the Ferrari. He's the only Ferrari in this race. And he's got the two Alpines on his trail. They're both going to have DRS. Jettah's is trailing just behind with DRS also. Looks like Harstill's going to make a move. Is Reese going to go for it as well? No, he's too far back as they go too wide into the first turn. Let's just have a look at this. Oh, is that a little bit of contact? Oh my God, Reese makes up 2 positions. That was absolutely beautiful. But now he's got the Ferrari on his inside. Can he... Oh, he's just forced off a little bit wide into turn 4. And he loses those 2 positions back again. This is absolutely wonderful racing here from our top 3. I thought we were about to have a through goes Hamilton moment into turn 1. As they're heading to the hairpin now. All clustered up, our top 4, separated by 1.5 seconds. No, less than 1.5 seconds. More like 1 second, but Harstill does drop back from our race leader in the Ferrari. Harstill, not too much of a threat for the top 4, as he does have that large penalty. Reese is wanting to get past him, though. He's definitely going to want to get past him, because he's going to want to chase down his lead of the Ferrari, and going to want to take back that first place. As they go rounding into Sector 3. The 2 Alpines fighting hard here. Reese is desperately wanting to get past his teammate. If there were team radios in this game, I'm sure there would be some rather angry words as he goes maybe a little bit wide, taking a late apex. He's got DRS on his teammate, but he's not using his overtake. He's saved up a lot of that overtake. Maybe we're going to see him use a lot of that in the final 7 laps of this race. Our top 4 separated by less than a second. But the Ferrari is very much keeping them at bay so far. 0.6 seconds now to Harstill as they're rounding into Sector 2. Let's take a look at the Sector 1 times of our top 4. As they cross the line and compare them. So, our leader was 0.4 seconds faster than the 2 Alpines, but Jettah's did the same Sector 1 time as the Ferrari. So, it's going to be interesting to see if Jettah's can even make up a few places here. As Reese does regain the lead, he's using a bit of his ERS. He's using a little bit of his overtake. Now he's going to want to get back this 1 second gap from the Ferrari. It looks like he's done it pretty well. He's brought it down to 0.7 seconds, and he is going to want to launch this attack. He's going to want to use all of his ERS here. Well, not all of it, but a lot of his ERS to retake this lead. Would have been an absolutely brilliant drive from him. It was Jamie down in 13th, gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Hard luck there, and he retires from the session. Clearly not very happy, but Reese is gaining ever so closer to this Ferrari as Harstill is hot on his tail as well. Oh, a little bit of a slide coming out of turn 2 there from Reese. That's going to impact his time a little bit, but he's still in the all-important DRS range. As let's ride on board going into the tricky section of this track. Lots of fast corners. If you mess up on one of these curbs, you're going to lose a lot of time. You mess up once, you mess up this entire sector. This entire section, should I say. Reese, 0.2 seconds slower in the first sector compared to our race leader. And his teammate and Jettah's were nearly a second faster than him in that sector. So, Reese's Sector 1, from what I can see here over the last few laps, hasn't been the strongest, which is maybe not enabling him to get right behind our race leader and be able to launch an overtake. But they're coming into... they're in Sector 3 now. Final 2 corners of this lap. Let's just take a... He's going down the left-hand side. He's going down the inside. He's breezing past. He gets in front of the Ferrari before the final corner. The Ferrari's going to have DRS onto the main straight, however, to maybe launch another attack into turn 1. The Harstill is also going to want to get in on the action, but he has fallen back by half a second as we see the Ferrari take the outside and regain the lead of the race again into turn 1. This first corner, we are seeing lots and lots of overtaking going on. was why Josh in 7th. Sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:29.5. That is a 10th faster than, or almost 2 cents faster than our race leaders, who are setting 1:29.6s. Well, their fastest laps are 1:29.6s. Overall, then, last lap, the Ferrari in the lead has set a 1:31.6. Meanwhile, Reese has set a 1:31.1. So he's 0.5 faster in the last lap, but he still can't get the lead to stick for him. He is, at the moment, the fastest man on track who is not on new tyres. He is 0.3 faster than his teammate in the last lap, and nearly half a second faster than the Ferrari, as he's trying to launch another attack here. Going into the final corner, he's not going to go for a dive or anything. It looks like he's going to try get a better exit out of the last corner and maybe try to go for a dive into turn 1. Edging ever so closer. Is he going to go for a dive? Maybe it's too late. No, he doesn't quite. He looks like... Oh! There's a bit of a slide there from the Ferrari. He goes a little bit deep. Bit of a lockup. The rear sort of sticks out. Of course, Jeddah is going to be very happy if he can just keep... He's just got to stay within 8 seconds of Harstil, and he's going to be on the podium today. Let's see where he started off. Jeddah's started off in 5th and is mathematically going to be up into 3rd. Well, he's done it anyway. He's done it anyway around the inside of the hairpin. He's moved himself into 3rd, and now I'm sure he's going to want to get himself back into this fight for P1, which he has been in that fight from time to time, but it has mainly been Reese regaining 1st place and having it snatched away from him on the final on the main straight and the final corners. As here we go then down through Sector 3, the fast left-right-hander. He's got all of his ERS saved up here. He's going for it down the back straight towards the last corner. Just slots nicely in front of the Ferrari. Now the Ferrari's going to have another chance to attack back here. But if Reese can hold off into this turn 1 attack, but it doesn't look like he's going to. He's just got too much straight line speed with that DRS, does the Ferrari. JMS is dead. It does seem like that. He has DNF down in 12th place. That's unfortunate. It looks like he was having a pretty good race. Keeping position, maybe 1 or 2 up from where he started. Not sure what happened to him there, but he is DNF'd out of this race. Now the gap down between Reese is it's 0.4. His teammate is 1.7 seconds behind him, so not too much of a threat. Do we feel like Harstil has held up Reese a tiny bit? He does have... It seems like Harstil was defending pretty hard, even though we did have a penalty and not playing the team game. But hey, maybe that... Oh, we have a safety car. We have a safety car. Why do we have a safety car? I think it's Karen WYN7 in the Alfa Romeo who is DNF'd. And that is going to spice things up. That is going to bring the whole pack closer together for this final 4 laps of racing. Harstil's not going to be too happy. He's got an 8-second penalty. He's going to be, well, pretty much down in last. Unless he can build a huge gap. But we do have a safety car indeed. I'm going to presume it's for that, the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo's not having too much luck today with Alfie with their, with his technical issues. And a DNF today in the race, as we see Reese pit for new tyres, taking a gamble here. And his teammate Harstil also pits. They didn't quite get that gap big enough. He is going to be serving his 5-second penalty. Reese maintains track position, which is the all-important thing. He maintains track position, and he's on the fresh softs for 3 laps to go. let's have a look at the tires here. So the Ferrari in front has 12 laps on their medium tires. And Reese is on brand new softs. For this safety car restart, I think he has read this absolutely perfectly. He's taken... He hasn't taken anything. He's registered that there's quite a gap behind him. And that most people are going to be pitting. Look, basically everyone else has pitted, apart from Alfie and our Ferrari in the lead. Which means that, well, the question is, how many positions is the Ferrari going to lose out in front? I doubt he's going to pit now. Although, depending on how fast this safety car is going, he might only lose 4 positions. Haas still is 10 seconds away with a 3-second penalty from the pack. But he is obviously going to be closing that down very, very quickly. So the question is, how quickly can this safety car get round Jeddah? Because that's going to determine how many positions this Ferrari loses. If they decide to pit, if they don't decide to pit and just try to defend on cooked tires, it's going to be very interesting. We're also probably going to see a new fastest lap as well in the race. Fastest lap is currently held by the person in P5, White Josh, the 129.5. Safety car is not in this lap. Let's see. Yes, he does pit. The Ferrari does pit. How many positions is he going to lose? This is the question. Oh, well, he almost hit the wall. Bit ambitious there. He almost hit the wall. Oh, and he's down into... Oh, he's down into dead last here. No, he's not. Remote Banjo and Alfie are yet to pass him, but he's down in 9th. That is just poor timing. Whether that he couldn't pit before the safety car, but I think he could, because the safety car, we got told that the safety car was out like in the beginning of Sector 3, the end of Sector 2. He just, maybe he wasn't sure if Reese was going to pit. And Reese saw that the Ferrari was not pitting, so he thought he was going to take that gamble of pitting. And, well, it's definitely paid off for him. He now maintains the lead of the race behind the safety car, of which the safety car is probably going to be in this lap. He has fresh softs to defend from Jettah's in the Red Bull. So this is going to be one hell of a restart. Not quite Abu Dhabi 21, I will say. It's not going to be that incredible of a restart. But it's going to be quite exciting here. Are we going to see the safety car in this lap as the final 2 drivers are approaching the bottom of the pack? Remote Banjo and Alfie just about making around the hairpin. Probably going to see the safety car in this lap for what will be 2 laps of racing. Not quite a motor race. I need that on my soundboard. It's called a motor race, Toto. I need that on my soundboard. Because at the moment, I can just go like stuff like that. Is the safety car in this lap? When does Sector 3 start? Does it start now? Safety car is in this lap. We are going to have 2 laps of racing to determine this end of the session, to determine this race. 23 out of 25 laps as the entire pack groups up. Reese, as we're riding on board now, is going to be under quite a bit of pressure from his teammate and from Jettah's. Well, to be honest, White Josh as well. White Josh has seemed to have quite a bit of pace. We haven't paid too much attention to what's been going on with him, but if we just take a look. White Josh is up 2 positions. EXA Rolly is up 5 positions. So they have had quite a bit of pace this race. But we go green, we go racing. As everyone barrels into the first corner. And Jeddah has not made a move on Reese. Reese has absolutely nailed the restart, I think, here. And we have, well, 1.5 laps of racing to go. Michael Massey rolls in his grave as the Ferrari retires. It's gone from amazing to horrific for the Ferrari. Not sure what's happened in turn 1, but it looked like it was a it was going to be a steal for Ferrari. But once again, they must have pulled the Ferrari strategy. I'm not sure what's happened there. But that's not the important thing to focus on right now. What's important to focus on right now is that Jeddah is looking to absolutely steal this win from Reese. He's looked strong all session, from qualifying to sprint to the race. He's been battling and defending this this first place. It's been taken from him so many times in this race. But is he going to be able to keep it, as Jeddah is trying to make a move around the outside into the final corner? He switches to the inside. They're side by side going around into the hairpin. Reese is just about ahead. This is absolutely incredible racing. They've both got a lot of ERS as Haas still sets the fastest lap of the race. And Haas still's going past both of them. Haas still's gone past both of them. Reese still stays ahead though. Jeddah loses out on a position as White Josh is trying to join on the action as well. Wow, look at this. This is absolutely incredible, everyone. Reese is still holding on to this lead with just about, this is the final lap of the race. How is he going to keep this on? Of course, no DRS for 2 laps, which means there is no DRS for this lap, and there wasn't one for the lap previous. So we're going to be ending with no DRS, which is really, really good for Reese. Even if Haas still does overtake him here, Haas still has that 3-second penalty. Haas still's going to end up down in maybe P4, maybe P5. But it looks like, unless Jeddah can pull just something, just an absolute miracle and get past both of them, which he's looking to do here. He's looking to get past Haas, but he just doesn't have enough ERS. He doesn't have enough lap time. He doesn't have enough laps to get past and take the lead. I think we have concluded this race here, ladies and gentlemen, as we're heading past the second to last corner and approaching the final corner. Reese has done absolutely brilliant here, ladies and gentlemen, today. That is, I don't know how many races he's won this season, because this is my first time commentating. But here we go. Reese is about to cross the line and win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and set the fastest lap. Would you look at that? That is first place in the sprint, first place in the race, and the fastest lap in the big race. There we go. A well-deserved win there. Almost taken by Ferrari, but not quite. I'd say that you know what? I wish they could make the driver of the day manual so I could choose the driver of the day. Because, I mean, I'd choose Reese Hunter, you know. So, let's take a look at how, with maths, I don't do maths, but we're going to take a quick look at how this may or may not have shaped up the standings. Can someone please tag me with where I can find the driver's standings? I also have a clip on how our Ferrari has DNF'd. It has just been sent to me in the chat, so we're going to have take a look at that. And then if someone can link me towards the all-important driver standings. But let's switch scenes real quick. Beep, boop. Is this gonna... Hello? Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Okay. This is a clip by the Ferrari, who... I don't want to say bottled it, that would be a bit mean, but didn't pit under the safety car, dropped down to 8th position, and then ended up bottling it. Let's just have a look. Oh, well, that was a heck of an impact.
What's happened with the...
No, that's the wrong one. Come on. Guys, this is going to be really funny.
I am stupid. I am stupid. I switch off everything.
Thank you very much, guys. I am here all week. I'm actually not, but, you know, for comedic effect. There we go, then. Well, that rounds up our Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So, that was absolutely lovely. Thank you very much. So, I believe... Where Where do I find the thingy? X2 info. Here it is. X2 standings. X2 drivers. Reese is extending his lead by quite a lot, with a first place in the drivers, first place in the big sprint, and a first place in the first place in the race, first place in the sprint, and fastest lap. I promise I can speak. So he's definitely going to be extending his lead. This gap is very much drastically changed. So he's going to get 26 points plus however many they give out in the sprint. Jeddah has made quite a is going to be making gains on Raven. Where did Jeddah come? Jeddah came second, I believe. So that's 20 points for Jeddah, which is going to bring him to 121 points. Still not enough to pass Raven. So I think he has probably secured P3 in the drivers here. Anyway, I believe this is where I sort of sign off when it comes to the stream. Look at my results. Oh, you're in P5. But how many points do you get for 8th? Oh, you DNF, so you don't get any points. Icky Robo will have... Did he DNF as well, Icky Robo? But he might have overtaken you in the drivers. I'm not too sure. Anyway, there will be an updated information in X2 standings, so you can have a full look at everything. That was a very interesting safety car that brings us to that brought quite an intense end to the stream, to the end of the race, and an end to the stream. I hope that I have done a good job for you all today commentating. It was, of course, my first time commentating. So, I'm going to leave you with this number. Just kidding. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.